In our next exercise, we see something that we do often in this course. We kind of repeat over the material we've already had. So once again, we're going to have a number of rooms, this time 6 of those, and we will have their length and widths. So we want to paint them, this time not sell them, but rather paint them. We want to calculate how much does it all cost, so it's very similar to the first exercise we had, but it's more complicated because, for instance, if we have our room's lengths and widths, then we want to calculate the area that the room has, and then before painting it, we have to calculate how much paint, how much of paint will be necessary, we will have to use. So we have information on the paint. It's called Sadolin. This is a paint that's being produced by AkzoNobel, and this paint is $47.8 per liter. Since different paints have different viscosity, which means that if one paint is more liquid than another, and you will have to use some paint in more amount than another, then we have here 0.52, which says that for painting 1 square meter we will need to use 0.52 liters of that paint. So some additional information, and then we will take into account how much paint we will be using. That will depend on the viscosity. Then we will know how much it will all cost, which will depend on the price. And then, of course, there's the wages that we have to pay. There is some kind of a wage number. We have to calculate the total wage for the worker and the total cost of all the monetary numbers added together. And then the other total cost, which is the sum for all 6 rooms that we're painting. Now let's start writing down our formulas. The first one being equals 5 times 4, or C9 times D9. This is the area formula, and we get 20 square meters, and we will want to copy this formula down. As we see in the 4th row, it really multiplies together the blue and the green cell, C12 and D12, and it will correctly, just with one entry of a formula, it will correctly calculate the financial, the areas of the rooms. So this works just fine. The next thing poses a little problem. We want to calculate the amount of paint used, so we take 20 square meters, which is equals E9, and we multiply it with 0.52, because 1 square meter needs 0.52 liters, so 20 square meters need, let's see, 10.4 liters of paint. So now we know how much paint we will be actually needing. And one further point that I forgot to say was that even this is not a final form of this exercise. In the future, we will make this exercise much more complex by linking together a number of Excel tables. This here can be considered as one big table, but by linking together a number of tables, we will be able to let the user choose from amongst different paints. We will enable him to enter different rooms so that he can switch rooms that are to be painted. So all this in the future, as we build our exercises up block by block. And now the next thing we're going to do is copy this formula, and this is where we're in trouble, so don't do it yet. As you see, the problem is that this green cell is moving with, as we copy. Of course, the blue cell must move, so we will, for calculation of the paint amount, take the next and the next and the next area, but the green 0.52 per square meter should not move. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on Ctrl Z to get the undo working, And then I'm going to double click in the formula. I'm going to click on C5 and click on F4 key. So that we will have here equals E9 times $C $5. Remember that those $2 in front of C and in front of 5 will fix the green C5 cell. And as we copy now, just one more time to show the copying, we have to click in the middle of the cell, then go to the lower right corner when the mouse cursor changes shape into a cross, click and drag from there, copying goes like this, and now we can see that, for instance, for the third formula, we will have a blue formula, blue cell moving down, and the green one staying in place for the correct result. Okay, now for the cost of material. If we want to know the cost of material, we have to take the paint in liters and use that. So it's equals, and now we click on 10,4 liters times, and the price is 47 bucks. So here it is, equals F9 times D5. We are going to click on well, we can copy it and see that it doesn't work again with the green cell moving down as well. So we will undo it and click on D5, which is the green cell. Click on F4 key, and we will have here equals F9 times $D $5. Here it is, and this is the cost of material. And we're going to copy this formula, and we see that all the costs for the respective amounts of liters of paint in liters times the price of that paint that we're using will pan out correctly. Our next problem is what to use for what to calculate for wages, or what to base wage calculation on. So we could, for instance, if the wage rate is here just abstractly set 3,62, then we could just, for instance, pay him based on the cost of paint, so that the more expensive paint he uses, the more wage he gets. But that doesn't make any sense. And even it doesn't make sense to pay him for an hourly wage, because I think the standard way would be for us as business students to pay him for the number of square meters that he has painted. So here it is. Wage rate is going to be $3,62 per 1 square meter. Okay, let's do this formula. Equals 20 square meters equals E9 times 3,62, which is F5, and let's put those dollar signs in here right away. So it's equals E9 times F $5. And we will copy this formula, and here it is. It takes the respective area and multiplies it with the wage rate. The next thing we want to do is to calculate the total cost. So this time the cost consists of only material and wage cost. So I think there's no need for us to use a sum function, because just adding two things up is easier. Equals G9 plus H9. And here it is. The monetary amount is 570. We copy it to all other rows, and we'll have the total cost calculated. And now, just a reminder of the last lesson. The last reminder is that we want to get the such concise summaries of our operations. So we want to know how big is the total area of our painting process. Equals, and the function was called sum. Equals sum, because now we need to add 6 rooms together, so there's no point in just writing 5 plus signs, one plus the other, plus the third one, plus the fourth, plus the fifth, plus the sixth. Rather, we put equals sum, parentheses begin, and with sum you can actually sum together hundreds of cells if you want to, just the same way. And now we should click and drag from 20 to 50, 32, which is written down by Excel as E9 colon E14, which means that it marks the beginning and the end of a block of cells. Block of cells meaning a number of cells stacked together. And of course, let me just show you a wrong thing. You could just have had a block which consists of many columns and many rows. So these could be summed together as well. And then it would have written D9 colon E14. So it begins with a upper left corner and ends with a lower right corner. So here it is. These are the areas summed together. And just gonna have to write it as we first intended to do it. And here it is. This is the summation. And the very end of it is that this formula could also be copied. So let's select it, let's copy it, and we see that it correctly moves the upper block to the right. Copying also works for blocks and works to the left-right direction as well. And here it is. We have the numerical part of our exercise ready, completed. But there is the one thing we didn't anticipate, namely the nice look and feel of our workbook is a bit damaged. So let's select it and let's press Control 1. And remember, we had, for instance, here bordering options, background fills, font coloring, and etc. So let's click on border, and the options here were, for instance, we could change color or what kind of line we're using, but we won't do that right now. And let's just click on none and outline, which quickly will turn the selected double line off from everywhere and then on only around the selected box. Okay, let's click OK. And we're back with the formatting.